Hello Dreamweaver class. I'd like to just give you a short video lecture on some of the background with Dreamweaver software programs in the Adobe Creative Suite, and then also some websites that you might find helpful starting to learn more about these products and about web development. So these websites that you see up here on my little tab, those are listed for you in the module, in this week's module in your Blackboard shell. So first of all, let's just start out with a little bit about the software. This is Adobe's website, and getting used to Dreamweaver. If you've downloaded it, you can start with a trial if you don't own it, or if you have an older version, that's fine too. You'll be able to get most everything you need with that. But the new version, of course, is CS6. Just came out a couple months ago, so it's pretty new. And you'd want to start here as far as learning a little bit about what the program can do. So if you check out the Adobe Dreamweaver CS6 at adobe.com, it's going to give you overview, features, what it can do. One of the new updates in the CS6 is what's called this fluid layout, also called flexible. It used to be called liquid design. That means that it doesn't matter what device you're looking at your website on. It could be a 23-inch iMac, or it could be a little mobile phone. This flexible layout is supposed to make the sites look good in any size screen. So it does offer that feature. Of course, you may not always be using these built-in features in Dreamweaver depending on your skill level. You may be incorporating some hand coding also. But the purpose of Dreamweaver, especially if you're new to it, is to let the program write the code for you. You want to know what's going on behind the scenes. But if you want to check that out, that'll kind of tell you some of the new features. You can look at the showcase and everything. It's a nice site. Let me go back and just briefly talk about some of the other software programs that you probably know about. You may not know how to use every one of them yet. But Photoshop obviously is your graphics program. Web graphic design, it also does a lot of work with photo retouching and pretty much anything graphic related Photoshop can do. It's a very powerful graphic design tool. It's the standard, and it'd be what I'll use for my demonstrations. I also use Fireworks. Fireworks is actually simpler for the web. If you have Fireworks, it's a good program because it was developed from the ground up for web design. So it's your web graphics program. So simple things, I may use Fireworks to demonstrate. You've got Illustrator and InDesign. Those are the print side of things, graphic design, desktop publishing. And then you've got Flash, which is kind of in transition now. Flash is not supported on mobile devices. You probably know that. If you've been doing any reading. So that's a big problem. It's still going to be used for multimedia, game development, and any website that primarily will be used on a PC, on a regular computer. But if you're talking about a portable device like an iPad, you don't want to build a website that's going to be shown on an iPad because it's not going to be supported. So it's definitely shifting. I teach a Flash class, and it still has a good place in design, but it's shifting a little bit. So there are definitely some things that I'm going to add into that class to expand on Flash and go outside of Flash a little bit. And then you've got some video editing and effects related classes. I won't go over all of these. So adobe.com, you want to start there. Here's a website I just put up for you. PC Magazine gives some decent reviews. So here's a review of the newest version of Dreamweaver. And then here's another first look at Dreamweaver CS6 on the About website. Some of the About sites are okay. Some of them not so much. Just kind of depends on, I guess, who writes the articles. Okay. Got two tabs up there. They're exactly the same. Skip over that. I'm using Chrome right now. I like Chrome, but Firefox is good. I use that a lot too. Internet Explorer would be the site that you'd want to test your websites in first, because that's what most people use. Alistapart.com, as far as an article site for good articles. Some of them are really complicated, above my head even, but most of them are kind of fall right in the middle. They assume you have some experience in web design, so you'll be able to understand them. But it's a good site, Alistapart. And then this Smashing Magazine is good. I noticed this first article is a good one. It's got useful print and online magazines for web designers. So Smashing Magazine and A List Apart, and there are a lot of others. I don't want to give you too many right now. And then let me mention, I want to show you my website. It's kind of a work in progress, but I use Dreamweaver and Photoshop to do the site, so I thought it would be current. I could show you about that. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about the CMS, content management systems out there. You've probably heard of them, especially WordPress. These have been growing in popularity, and they've become very widely used. If you have a website that's fairly large in size and has a need to be updated by multiple people or updated by someone that is not a web developer like you guys are, they're a great choice. They also have templates. They're open source, meaning that you can download the code and you can install it. You can do a variety of things. I mean, I think some of these sites even will host it for you. Some of them you may install it on your own server or use a hosting company. A lot of these sites have a database backend, so you'd have to do like a MySQL database or something to take advantage of these sites. So WordPress is one, WordPress.org, and then Drupal is another one. And there's also one called Joomla. There's a couple of them out there. So this is the most popular one, WordPress.org. It started as a blogging website, but it's an interesting site. If it's something that is not replacing Dreamweaver by any means, anything like that, but it's just another skill that if you took a little bit of time and downloaded some sample code, looked at how it works, maybe even set up a little quick sample website, you'll be in a better position to talk about what a CMS is if you get into an interview and someone asks you, because chances are you will be asked that at some point. You ask if you have any experience with a CMS like a WordPress. You can also use Dreamweaver and WordPress together. A lot of people do that. Here's my website right now. It's kind of in the process of being developed. It needs to be updated as far as the content goes. The design I'll probably leave for a while. I focus mainly on instructional design for my freelance development. My examples are not updated yet. I do a lot of video production also. Here's a little video I did for a contest for Kelly Blue Book for a video for the Chevrolet Corvair. That was my Corvair. I sold it last year. And then I do a lot with online education, obviously. And then I did this site, the graphics you see, the background, all of these little icons, did those in Photoshop. And then I assembled the layout in Dreamweaver. So one thing I don't want to do is, and I don't want you guys to do, is rely on Photoshop 100% for your layouts. You want to build your layouts from scratch in Dreamweaver. That's what I'm going to teach you how to do with cascading style sheets. No tables or anything, and no slices. I don't like those slices in Photoshop unless you're just going to use them to export a series of graphics and then reassemble them. So you've got graphics in here. This is all CSS, division tags, borders, backgrounds, and then you've got my example sites right here. Again, these are outdated. I'm in the process of updating them. I've got some new examples from Lexmark in UK that I wanted to put up. But it's pretty, standard usable site. Some of the things that I want to make sure that I follow. Usability, I want the design to look standard on each page, so the menu stays in the same place and you know where you are with titles and everything. This is just a static website, so you may do static websites for people, smaller ones, but you may also expand beyond that and do larger ones. A lot of people do want those database backends, and you can use Dreamweaver for that. It works really well. So, but if you're doing a website for yourself, or for a friend or something, this is kind of the size of the website that you would do. A pretty small one, easy to navigate, clean, simple. That's kind of some of the things that I'll teach you. And incorporating some video. A lot of times I use YouTube for my video and then embed it into a website. You can also do standalone video if you want, but YouTube is really awesome. They've made some really good improvements on it for high definition video. Okay, so that's all I wanted to talk about for this first quick lecture, just to go over some of the programs and what you're looking at, especially the Dreamweaver, and then some websites to start reading about web development. Okay, so that's it.